anomaly is something that deviates from what is standard, normal, or expected. It's safe to say that if you want to become an anomaly, you have to know that standard. You have to live through normal, and you have to master what's expected. How did Apple know they were thinking different? How did Amazon, Uber, and Airbnb disrupt entire industries? The problem most of us face in this process of discovering what is normal is that we become normal instead of identifying what's possible. What is going on, Modern Marketer family and everybody who is new to the community? I hope you guys enjoyed that intro. I wanted to essentially set a tone and storytell for what even started the modern marketer in this modern marketing movement in the first place. For those of you that don't know, the Modern Marketer was acquired by a large agency here in Ohio, one of the best in Ohio actually, and you guys will come to know that family and learn who they are and that sort of thing. But I wanted to show the process of what it looks like to grow that business and the modern marketer side by side, and what that's going to do in regards to their very rich and fertile 20-year history inside of the Ohio market, alongside of the modern marketer's edgy, fast-paced, and sort of thought-leading nature that we've built with this community.
The idea being, you're right, just that a creative strategy team should create that strategy together.
Right.
It should not be
any individual, any person. To complement that point, one thing that I've been experiencing in my short 4 weeks here is that all these individual conversations that I'm having with people, it's like we lack this cohesive strategy or religion across the board, that everybody in their mind is like, this is the TKG religion. So ideally, ignore the branding, right? Ideally, what we'd like to have is, all of our tactics. There's with the quotes again. all of the tactics. Sorry, right now, I can't stop thinking.
They're just tactics.
Yeah, they're just tactics. They can actually see and point out opportunities that they wouldn't think of before, because they understand the cohesive religion, essentially, of how we're going to get results. I don't know how often you guys run into this, but I always ran into people saying, well, I've tried SEO before, I've tried social before, I've tried creating a website before, and it just didn't work. And my response was, okay, what do you mean by try? Because these isolated instances of social efforts or email efforts or whatever, is you have holes in your funnel. There's no cohesive from the top to the bottom. You're not acquiring, converting, and engaging before and after the sale. So you're just trying to maximize your reach, and then the KPI you're measuring is sales.
With universities, in our experience, has always been is they might be good people, they might have some good fundamentals, but they're a year or two behind in what they think they're coming out with, where the people that have been doing it for a company or as an internship or as a freelance person for a couple of years, and it's harder to network with those people because they aren't part of Stark State, they aren't part of Mount Union. They're
busy 100% of the time.
They're just there. They're just around, and you almost kind of have to. I think that's where a group like this could really be powerful, because it's like, you may have lunch with a guy or a lady that is just really smart and sharp and is like, I've been doing it on my own for a couple of years, but I'm looking to be part of something, else. And it could be a really good opportunity, because those are the people that are usually current and can come into your team. And it's really then the ramp up time, in our experience, has been, I already know what you want me to do. How do you do it?
And I want you guys to be a part of that, like I always have. When I started my first business is really when modern marketing started. I didn't have any formal training. I didn't go to school for marketing and communications. I didn't major in entrepreneurship or business. I had intentions to do things that were quite different from business. In fact, I wanted to be a full-time musician, and I pursued that, but I didn't want to stay in a 10 by 10 foot room and teach drum lessons for $15 an hour. I saw this tool called social media, this environment called the internet, where I could essentially upload my story, my thoughts, my education, my knowledge on music and drumming and theory, and teach people all across the world. It was just a fact I came to know just like that, by identifying a tool and saying, wow, there's so much more possibility than just these four walls and teaching lessons. So I started doing that. We started uploading a ton of content, and we created a membership site, and we grew our social presence. And the one thing that worked really, really well is we invited up and coming musicians from the entire industry that had cult-like followings into our studio, gave them high definition video, and essentially tapped into their audiences, right? Because they didn't have high quality content of themselves distributed at scale. So we gave that to them, therefore being the relevant umbrella in which all of that content and media flowed under. So we tapped into audiences and influencer marketing before it was a buzzword. It was just things that naturally came because my partner and I at the time studied what the normal was so we could become the anomaly. Fast forward to starting the Modern Marketer and, traveling out to North Carolina and making moves there and relationships and going through the ebb and flow and the peak and valleys of entrepreneurship, and ultimately failing certain seasons of my life and business and my career and business, and end up here in Ohio, back where it all started, at the Karcher Group. And that's where I'm at right now. So I want to share this part of the journey with you guys because, as I said, way back when this thing was called The Focused Entrepreneur, this documentary series, it never looks like you think it's going to look. It's always different. There's always unforeseen variables that you will face in business, in life, and if you are an entrepreneur.